Happy Monday, everyone. So, okay. William does not think it's a happy Monday. So last time we said we were going to get started on our seed shop as part of the farming aspect of this game. We want to be able to buy seeds with reputation, which is the currency we use for everything. So I'm using a piece of software here called Miro. It's online. I think there's a paid version, but what I'm doing is it's free. And I've kind of used this to make a very rough draft of my UI and kind of flowchart. So up here you can see where I kind of roughed out an idea for how my medicine making UI would work. And I don't know if you remember, but it doesn't wholly look like this anymore. So we'll actually go back through and I'll just show you what the menu looks like. So this is a very different menu than what I showed here. Matter of fact, what we have now is much simpler. So here I'm like, okay, you got there's plants in stock, medicine in stock, ingredients, but I just narrowed this down to you have these buttons with your how many you have in stock, and then you have cook and you have exit, and you can see your inventory over to the left. But the idea is still here. This idea of the plants in stock are buttons, and when you select one, it changes. It's like, okay, you've selected an ingredient, and then you go to select your next ingredient, and it gives you this lost my train of thought. Kind of gives you some feedback telling you what it is that you're about to make. So if I selected numb root and then I go sleep leaf. No, wait, it pops up muscle relaxer. So this is where I started from, though, and this is what I had laid out in Unreal and UMG. And as I got it on stick, it changed and became something a little simpler, a little less feedback. Like I do like the highlights here and tells if it's a new medicine or not, but that's for down the road. So for the seed shop, I've just laid out this, where you talk to the NPC, they lay out the seeds, they lay out the price, and there's how much you have in your inventory. Then you select your seed, and here you get a pop-up menu reducing the information you're presenting to the player down to what is just needed in that moment. I shouldn't say a firm believer, but I'm a believer in drill down menus and only presenting players with as much information as they need. And obviously this is not going to be the final version, but this is a good starting place. And Miro is what I use to kind of rough out these ideas. So where are we at? So far we're here. I just made this common activatable widget. I'm using Common UI. It's a very, very powerful plugin for Unreal. It has a bit of a learning curve, and there's a lot of features in it at this stage that aren't done, and there's a lot of features that aren't exposed to Blueprint. But I haven't done anything in C++ yet in this project, and I've been able to make fully realized UI. But there is a learning curve, and there are a few things that you kind of have to work around. But there's some pretty good tutorials out there, some YouTube tutorials. Unreal's documentation has gotten a lot better since this first came out. So you can take a week or two to just open up your own personal project and delve in and just follow the tutorials until you can get along and understand how it works. But if you want to use a gamepad and mouse and keyboard, or if you have multiple kinds of inputs, or you want to be able to update the UI showing to the player based on the input they're using, so let's say they're using a gamepad and they enter a gamepad input and it's an Xbox controller, you want to see Xbox icons or PlayStation icons. If you're using a PlayStation, you want to switch up the kind of inputs you have if you're using a Switch gamepad. Common UI handles all that very quickly once you get set up. The setup takes a long time. So And to put this into perspective, it took me just as long to just get my UI set up as it did to do everything else in this game combined. With that being said, it makes all the UI work down the road much, much, much faster, doing things like templatizing styles and things like that. So, with all that being said, common activatable widget. It's a common UI thing, and what we have here is a vertical box, common border, another vertical box. Within this vertical box, you can see I already have my reputation border with text. This is what's going to tell the player how much reputation they have. And below that, but not within it, we have a horizontal box, and within this horizontal box, we're going to have what I call a stock box. I think this actually needs to be a vertical box. Because the idea is that needs to be a vertical box. So I'm going to go create a separate widget that has stock, price, inventory, and a horizontal box. And then it's going to loop through the player, or it's going to loop through this NPC's sheet to say, okay, I have this seed and this many. And when the player opens this up, it's going to look at the player's inventory and say, this is how many the player has. And it's just going to get these three attributes and just loop through and create a button. So these right here, these seeds are all going to be buttons. Very, very similar to how we're doing the cauldron. So this is where we are right now. And I figured I would just go ahead and show how I'm going to create the... wow, my brain just shut off. But how I'm going to create those seed buttons and flash out and finish up this menu. I do want to say I've already got the select button, back button in here. Select button currently doesn't actually do anything. This is just a button style, regular button, a style I've already made. So let me just throw in some text. I think I said this was the select. And my back button, of course, is going to say exit. Where is my... Nope. There it is. Hello? That's tooltip text. It's not what we're wanting. This is interesting. Why are we not displaying our text? Did I do something silly? I might have. Nope. Event graph. What am I doing on construct? That, or pre-construct. That might. I think that's what's making me goofy here. No. This is interesting. Just gotta overlay with a back action. Oh, I don't have a text in here. Oh, okay. That, I thought I had a text in here. That's okay. So we're going to add a text in here. We're just going to do common text. We're going to drop it into this overlay. Or just back action has its own text. Maybe that's why I didn't do it. So this back action here handles a lot of things. It is a long story, but it's part of common UI. It handles input actions, and you can set this up to display buttons and icons and all sorts of truly cool things. But we're not going to do that right now. Instead, we are just going to wrap this up in a horizontal box so that this guy just kind of sits over to the left. And our style is just going to be the singular style I made. All right, and now, if I go back, I think I need to make this a, yeah. No, I'll just, this is always going to be exit. There's no reason to complicate this. There we go. Now it says exit. And if I don't want to see this guy yet, I can just hide it, which is what I'm going to do. It needs to be hidden, but hit testable. I think that will make it hit testable. Oh, no, not hit testable. Okay. Maybe it doesn't need to be hit testable. Maybe collapsed is fine. Because right now it's just going to handle input. Okay, that should be fine. No image, we're not drawing it. Icon rim none. Draw as none. Yeah, okay, we should be. Let's go ahead and compile that, update it, compile and update, and it's not collapsed. We will deal with it. Oh wait, is that going to handle that for me? Nope. Okay, cool. I'm not overly concerned. This is just a rough draft. Later on, I'm going to. We're going to see it later on because it's going to display buttons. So, I am chasing something I shouldn't be chasing. Excuse me. Okay, so what did I say I was going to do? I was going to create those a new widget. I'm going to this pop-up menu should just be a button. You know, we're gonna call this a pop-up menu, but we're gonna call this shop UI, because I'm sure we're gonna have others of these. So we're gonna create a user interface, a widget blueprint. We're gonna create a common activatable widget. CW, so common widget blueprint, and this is going to be seed shop list. Maybe I might even call it button list, but so I always start with an overlay. An overlay is just, it can just have a lot of children, and it's not as resource intensive as, say, I can't think of Canvas panel. Canvas panel is super versatile. They create a coordinate system and let you do all kinds of things in layout, but they're also very expensive, and in my opinion, not entirely necessary. You can do everything you need with just overlays, horizontal boxes, vertical boxes, and spacers. It's better if everything's kind of in a grid anyway. Makes input navigation easier, and it's a lot more readable for your human users. So with this in mind, I'm going to move this over to the next screen. You won't be able to see it, but I will. So we know that we want a vertical box. That's not how we spell vertical. So this is what we're going to loop all of our stock in. So we're going to call this outer vertical, and that is going to be, let me think about this for a second, because I don't want to loop through the same box that has, I don't think I will have to. I think I could just do this. We're going to do a horizontal box inside of it. This is, I don't need that to be a variable. This is going to be the header box. And inside of this is going to be, we'll do a common border, common text. Please go inside. Thank you. We're going to call this excuse view stock text. This is stock border. And I don't think this needs to be a variable because it's not going to be static. It's always just going to say stock. And this border has a border style. This text has a text style. And we're going to put a little bit of padding on it. There we go. Just to kind of create a little bit of space around it. Looks a little neater. Cool. And we're going to do 2 more of these. It's Control D for that hotkey. And again, a little bit of padding. Just so that we have some space around everything. Cool. So you're not stock border. You're going to be price border. You are in inventory border. I'd have thought about calling it just inventory. But that could get confusing to the player. They might see that and think, oh, it's the shop's inventory. No, it is player inventory. But player inventory is, and this is such a pedantic thing, but to me it's too many syllables, too many letters. It's not very concise. It is, but I really want things to be as close to one word as possible. And I might even do something like call it like knapsack or bag or backpack. Something that is a physical object that is specific to the player instead of just calling it inventory. But human facing for this stage, this is fine. And inventory text. Cool. And maybe I'll even do something like number in inventory. But I think that's actually going to be apparent. We actually looking at it. So this is just the header, right? So we're actually going to create another one of these. We're going to create another horizontal box. Now this guy, it's exactly the same in every way except that it's different. Now, excuse me. Let me look back and make sure this is how I want to do it. It is. This is how I want to do this. So this is going to be my seed box. I don't even know if I want to call it seed box because it's going to hold my seeds. We're going to call this shop inventory box. And this is a variable. It's a horizontal box. So there's going to be multiple of these that are going to get placed in this outer vertical box. Alternatively, I can just wrap this in a vertical box, and I would do this. You know what? I'm going to take all this back. I have a better idea. We're going to take all that back. Sorry. We are going to just do a horizontal box. And this horizontal box is going to be a seed item to price box. It's a big name, but I'm just going to create a widget that's this. That's what I'm going to do. So first we're going to need a button. I'm going to use a button base. Again, this is something that I created a while back. And this is going to be called button base underscore seed button. Then next to it, we're just going to have a border. Let's do a common border. This is going to be price border. This will make sense in a moment, I promise. I can't think, speak, and type all at the same time. Hello. Your style's regular. your border style is, there we go. Let me go ahead and, just for the sake of seeing for me, I'm going to call this C name. So that is the button. This is the information. And just as a placeholder text, instead of saying text block, which is not very informative at a glance, price, that's not how you spell price. That is how you type when you have fat fingers. So I'm going to do price block, and we're just going to say, $99. So already I can see, I'm like, man, I'm going to want a spacer here, right? Because it's just so cluttered together, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. We're going to duplicate this, and this is going to be our in inventory border. Let's rename this one to in inventory text. Yep. And in this text, we're going to have that. It is a variable. Good. So, excuse me, man. Okay. Let us go ahead and do just a little bit of formatting. We're going to do throw in a couple spacers. Stop that. It confuses me. Let's do 20. That is not helpful. We need you here. There. Now we've created a little bit of space here. Overlay. We want you. Nope. I think we're going to want this. I mean, kind of want that. But, yeah, so we're going to fill horizontally. Because the plan here. What did I name that thing? CWBP seed shop list. So the plan is inside of the stock box. We're just going to be dropping these guys. But when we do, we're going to have to fill out their information. Already I think this is ugly, so we're going to do that. And it's going to do nothing for us. So we're going to do that. That's going to help. Okay. I kind of liked you over there. I'll accept that. Let's see how this looks. There we go. Okay, see, now we're getting somewhere. All right. So this vertical box is great. Now what I want, though, is right above this guy. And I always want this to be above. So anytime I add something new, I'm going to want this header above it. And I think the easiest way to do this, even programmatically, is to just have another vertical box. So I'm going to call this header box, so I'll always know what it is. And basically, we're just going to repeat this layout up here. So I liked what I had here. So we're just gonna pull this over. I don't need you anymore. I'm gonna pull this over, and I'm just gonna copy this. Not literally copy and paste it. Don't try not to copy and paste widget objects in Unreal. I'm not saying it will always crash. Item, but it has always crashed for me. And I'm not sure why, and I don't care a whole lot why. I have an attitude of There are two kinds of broken things. There are broken things in which I should invest time in fixing, and there are broken things in which I should invest time in working around. And there's no point in me trying to investigate why is this broken? Why it crashes for me? I fill out a crash report tickets every time it's happened, but I'm sure Epic gets thousands, if not millions a day. So I don't really have much hope that's going to result in anything. Cool. Okay, so we have our text block here. It's called price. And I'm just going to duplicate this twice. This one is called haha, silly me. This is price. This one is actually called a seed name border. Seed name. And if you want to I'm hitting F2 to do that. F2 is the rename. Just in case you didn't know. Price border. There we go. And this is going to be price border. We have price name. Fuck. Sorry. We have item name, item price, and then in inventory. In inventory border. In inventory. And it's got to be frustrating to see me bounce back and forth between what I'm doing, whether I'm changing the name up here in the details or changing the name with F2. Sorry. Oh, not today. It's just how it is. It depends on it really depends on what I'm thinking about in that moment. If I'm thinking, do I need to make this a variable? I'm just going to go ahead and put my mouse up here before I even have an answer to that question. Cool. And this is really more like a label box. There we go. Or a header box. There we go. That name's already in use. That stands to reason. They're not variables, so it's not going to get too confusing, but alright, let's grab our spacer, and we're going to start talking about it. And we're really just going to move this out. This is not a great way of doing it, but this is how I'm going to do it today. Yep, until everything's just kind of left aligned. Matter of fact, if I come down, let's do 3 digits. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't need this. I'm distracted by things I don't need right now. I just want to make sure that 3 and 4 digits both look good. Not that I expect things to get to that magnitude, but it's not impossible. So, so I'm going to put another spacer. A Control D is duplicate, by the way. 25, and man, that is right next to perfect, ain't it? Cool. Only 24. Now, this would actually be a little better if I wasn't doing this programmatically. So these guys, I'm not going to hand drop in the design tab. This is going to be done through blueprints. I'm just putting it here so I can look at it. The better way to do this would actually, if this was going to be a static widget, I would do a giant horizontal box that contains multiple vertical boxes. So this is always aligned, which I guess is what I'm doing, but I have 2 vertical boxes here. I wouldn't do 2, I'd do 1. But a stop box here is what matters. This is what I'm going to constantly be putting things in. So hit Control D a few times. When a player opens up the inventory, this is what they'll see. But for now, we'll do that. We'll go ahead and save all. And we're going to come up here to reputation. I'm actually going to create another text up here with reputation. One that's going to be a variable. That isn't duplicating. I can't duplicate that. I don't know why this happens. That's one of those problems that I'm just like, well, that problem's just, that'll just sit. Oh, because it's a border. Okay, that's why. Borders can only have one child. The end. No further comment. All right. Borders can only have one child. Let's go ahead and this is a lot of white on white on white on white. It's because I only have one style, which is fine. Boom. That's how much reputation the player has. This is reputation text. Hello? There we go. And that is a variable. All right. So, there's a lot going on here. We're going to create a new variable. This is going to be called reputation or player. This is an integer. Great. And I want to organize this. So this is going to go into what do I want to call this? These are the variables I need on construct. So construct variables. This isn't actually very accurate to what they are. But it's fine. It's all right. So when I create this variable, I'm gonna pass that in. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and create a function for that. Set reputation. Get return. So normally with widget blueprints, when you can set a you could do this. You can set a widget to expose and spawn, be instance editable. So when you go to create that widget, you will actually have these variables listed out. Because of the way we push widgets in Common UI, that isn't always the case. Although I think we might be able to do it here. I might be able to do it here. I haven't actually thought 100% through how I'm going to push this widget. Because you can just like push widget of class. Oh, I think I have to do it that way. Yeah, you have to do it that way. Never mind. I'm not a huge fan of that. I liked having exposed variables, but I can't do that because you'll see. You'll see. Anyway, I'm going to set this up real quick, and I will return when this is done. So just to show it, this is basically how I'm going to handle all the shops. Is just create a little data asset called seed shop. I just do that by creating a primary data asset, and it's just a. Oops, I should rename this. Name item to price. So it's just a map of items to their price. This way I can have multiple elements. When the item is an enum, I could do, say, just the enum plant types and an integer. Like if I tried this, oh, I guess I could add, hey Dahlia, I guess I could add elements. Oh, that's still the enum. Did this not? Oh, it's a map of enum. Single. There we go. It still did nope. I don't want this to be a map. There we go. Man. So if I tried to do this, I couldn't add elements. It would just be the one thing. And also I like maps because you can have that, well, key to value, you know. It's the thing that we want. So it's very simple, very straightforward, very different from my other data assets, but it's very simple. So I could just make one of these for multiple shops. Or if I wanted to say, like, this shop gets an expanded inventory, I can do that and control it pretty easily from here. Now, if prices go up or Dahlia, sorry, my cat is being very needy. No, you don't get to beg for attention and walk away from me. Come here. You gotta say hi to the people. She is being very needy. There she is. We love her, but she is a little brat. Alright. And catnip's like, you know, super crazy expensive. So, that is that, and I'll come back when I'm finished. Okay, so now you can see the results of what we've done. Basically, right now I'm doing it on pre-construct, but you can do it on construct as well. Whoops, we are going to need that. I'll go over that in a second. So, just to show what we're doing, on construct we are going to set our stock. The stock box is what's holding all of those buttons. We're going to clear that out because we are doing this on pre-construct. So that means every time we click compile, it's going to redo all of this logic. So we're going to go ahead and empty out our stock box. This is for getting the player's inventory. Because I'm doing this on pre-construct, I'm just not doing that yet. We get that PDA, and we're going to get our map here, and we're going to loop through all the keys. So we are coming through, and it's going to loop through every single one of these. Excuse me. And as we do, again, we're skipping this. We're going to create this CWVP widget, which is this guy. And you can see I changed this layout a little bit. This seed button here, I thought I gave it a placeholder text. I did. It's very strange that it's not showing up here. But anyway, I have set this entire horizontal box to horizontal fill, and every element inside is also set to fill, but I wanted to be able to maintain its orientation no matter the length of the individual text inside. So I just hard set each thing's alignment, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So I have these variables exposed. This is just the text fields that are being displayed, which I guess I can get rid of the event constructs and do it on pre-construct. Every time event construct is called, so is pre-construct. Pre-construct is just called in editor as well as in the game, and we're just, that shouldn't work. Anyway, we're just setting these texts here. So we're setting those in, and we're just adding them to the stock box. which is what results in this. So things are pretty well aligned. Obviously, it isn't perfect, but this is very readable just out the gate. You can see that we have gone through this PDA. All 4 elements are represented, and the price of each one is represented, and how much single player inventory is represented as well. And you can update this live. So let's say food costs 54 reputation, and if we go back here and hit compile, you'll see, yeah, there we go. It's represented. We could just come back to this. Nope, this will never change. Come back to this and just remove that element because you can't buy food, and it's already gone. Excuse me, God, my throat. So now we're going to set this up to display player inventory. I'm going to unplug this so I don't have it trying to do things on, or should I say at runtime or editor time. So I'm going to set that. If the cast failed, we're just going to keep going because we're going to do it in is valid check here. Now if it's valid, we're going to do all this. Actually, no, here's what we're going to do. If it's valid, I've got too much spaghetti. This is upsetting. Alt click does that. Control click does this. Double click on the lines to create your little reroute pins. So if it is valid, we're going to do this, and we are going to promote this to a local variable. And this local variable is going to be called our, in inventory text. So in inventory text, and something I like to do for all my local variables is to name them local. So if I go back and look at it, I'll know that this is data that's not persistent. It's going to go away. And so now I can just do that. So this is if everything is valid, and you're going to see me do this a lot. This is a personal preference thing. I cannot stand spaghetti. Love the food, hate the blueprint. So very frequently you will find that I will do things like this, especially in for loops. And it just makes things neater and more readable. All right, cool. So if this guy's valid, great. We're going to go ahead and loop all that. And if it's not valid, and the only time this wouldn't be valid is for an editor time. But it's also just in the wild event that something else happens, we can just communicate to the player, hey, for whatever reason you don't exist, but because you don't exist, neither does your inventory. And seeing a 0 is just so much neater than seeing a blank space. And sorry, this is just me tending the beast. I cannot stand to see lines. I don't even like seeing this little cross over here, but that's it. It has to be there. I guess it doesn't. I guess I could. No, it does. Anyway, it has to be there. I don't like seeing these crosses, but I cannot stand seeing, especially execute lines just crossing over nodes. It just looks bad. So we're just looping through and we're just loading up this widget, which is this guy right here. We're just filling out its details, and then adding it to the vertical box. Now let's make sure that's actually functioning. Okay, Unreal didn't crash, and everything is there. Fantastic. Why things aren't here? Frankly, haha, I'm silly. I know why. There we go. I was like, man, why is this information not displaying? Because I told it not to. Good job. Okay. Now I should see some data. Boom. There we go. And I am setting reputation. Let's go up here. It's actually the very first thing I do, but currently the player doesn't have reputation. So, I could try setting it on pre-construct, but we're not going to do that. Because I am doing this on pre-construct, it will also happen on construct. So we're going to come here. So this set focus, this is basically what's telling Common UI, it's telling Unreal, hey, this is the item, this is the widget on screen that is going to accept inputs. And there's this function in any common activatable widget that you can override called get desired focus target. So I am looping through the stock box. I'm going to get all the children. If any of these children are button base, which is what our buttons are, then we're just going to return that and make that a focus object. If this fails, if I can't find anything, then the back button is going to be my focus button, and that's fine too. So now I actually need to be able to push this widget to screen when we talk to the shopkeepers. So we're going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all I did was create a new little character here. It sends from BC and PC character base. Excuse me. And because I don't have any art yet, it's all still based on real stuff, I just went ahead and created a little sign. This is a seed shop, just so I will know what's going on. And I just said on interact, it's going to push this widget. So obviously I haven't hooked up the buttons yet. They don't do anything, but look at that. That's how much reputation the player has. It's just repeated, confirmed from up here. My inventory is wrong. Oh, because I haven't. Haha. So I need to go set that. But the price is right. And of course, exit button works because I've already created that. So let us. Hello, Dahlia. You can't see her, but my cat's in front of my screen right now. So we need to come back over here to the seed shop menu, get event graph, set stock, and my inventory text. Oh wait, no, this should be accurate. Let's find out why it's not. So we're going to 0, 4. What are we on? Num root. Is that true? No, I have 5. So this is interesting. I don't know why I keep saying this. It's got to be something with that exit button, right? I don't know. whoops, our player character inherits from character base. So inventory. Yeah, get seeds inventory. Okay. I think I see the issue. Yeah. Seeds to quantity. There we go. Now we should see something accurate. F9 is to toggle breakpoints. And yep, it is accurate. Look at that. Very nice, very nice. Cool. All right. And of course, nothing happens when we purchase this. So what I need to do is to set up a button. We'll probably call it a seed button or something. But it is going to tell the player to reduce the reputation by this amount, increase the inventory by 1. Or alternatively, I can go ahead and make the effort to create this pop-up menu here, which is the better design. If players have hundreds or thousands of reputation and they want to buy hundreds of seeds, which anyone who's played Stardew Valley will know will be the case, you're just going to spam this button right here over and over and over, and you're going to want to be able to buy 50, 60 seeds at a time. So we're going to do that next. She's helping. Okay, so we're almost ready. You can see here we have the seed amount, this extra pop-up setup. We got items, this is set to a variable, purchase, you get total price per unit. It's just like we had in the Miro board. And what I've done here is just said, on a decrement button, we're going to decrement how many we're going to purchase. Of course, we don't let that get into the negatives, so we handle that. We update our text, including the total cost. We do the same thing here for the increment. Ooh, look at that. I did a goof. There we go. Cool. And for purchase seeds, what we've done, are you done, ma'am? You oh. Okay, that's nice. Excuse me. When we click purchase seeds, we do exactly that. We're just going to get our character base, and I don't like changing character attributes from the UI. What I need to do, and I'll do this in the refactor, is I'm going to create an inventory controller. I'm sorry, one moment, please. So what we're going to do instead, I'm going to create an inventory controller that's going to manage all the inventory. Even though it's all just an enum to integers, I want it all in one place rather than all these different buttons from all these different widgets just pinging the player and making these changes. I could do it from the player controller itself, but the player controller is going to handle a lot of things. And I don't know, I feel like inventory is just enough of its own verb that it should just be in its own space, a little bit of smaller files. So, with all this being said, there is something that I forgot about, and that's these buttons here. Because ideally, we want the player to select one of these buttons, which would pop up this menu. But because of the way we're generating these buttons, I can't create an event for them from here. At least I don't think I can. Even if I could, I don't think I'd want to. So what I need to do instead is to make these a more specific button type. Because right now they're the generic, let me find where I'm creating these. Excuse me. these are currently the generic losing my mind. I'm creating these here. That's why I couldn't find them. I don't have to create a unique button. I can. Okay, so they're a generic button base type, but what I can do instead, so we're going to do on button base clicked. I forgot I did this. And we are going to create a widget. I wonder how this is going to work with this. That should be fine. Anyway, we're going to create a widget. I'm going to get player, and the class of widget we're going to create is going to be that seed amount select, and that should not be there. Nope, I lost my. There we go. That's supposed to be an enum and an integer. Seed amount select. Let's find out why that's not. Because I thought that what I did. Oh, I know what I did. Okay. Silly Travis. There we go. This is what I meant to do. I didn't finish what I was doing. There we go. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to come here and refresh. I'm sorry, one moment, please. All right, so these have been restored. So we're going to find the seed shop list. Is this where I put my map? I don't think I put my map here. Not my map. I need my Okay, I remember. So this guy is going to need, instead of set item text, we're going to call this set attribute set. And the reason for this is one very, very pedantic reason. We're going to create a new variable. We're going to call this shop, because I do want to make this expandable and use it for maybe other shops in the future. Which means, yeah, so shop stock. Instance editable, expose on spawn, shop PDA. And we're just going to yeah, it exposes on spawn, so I don't have to do all this. It could just exist there. But oh, you know what? I think it has to be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. No, I'm not. It's late, y'all. Anyway, I should just be able to do this, and that should be fun because, yep. Get shop PDA. We're just going to pass that along in. And because it is of that PDA shop stock type, we're going to pass in. I don't want to. No, it's just data sheet. I can pass in the whole thing. It's fine. I know I'm nesting a lot here, but I think it's actually going to be okay. You'll see what I'm doing here in a second. Basically, I need to be able to get that. I need to be able to get the item and item price from the menu and from that map. So we're just going to pass that in. Expose and spawn. There we go. So I'm going to come back where that is being created. See shop list, event graph, there we go. Oh. See, I've already done this. I don't need that now. Go away. I will get my head screwed on straight here soon. Okay, let's get a shop PA. Oh, but we do need to know what item I just selected. Don't we? Based off the button that was just clicked. That means each button needs to know what it is. So I do need to create a unique button type. That's fine, that's fine. We learn. God, excuse me. Alright, so let's just do that real quick. We're gonna create a CB button base. It's gonna be CB shop item button. Calling it CB for common button and then button again. It's a little redundant, but it makes me feel better. So all we're going to do is just give this thing a variable that's called item name. Boy howdy. So I need a new enum that's just going to have every item in the game that can be purchased. For now, those are seeds. So this is fine. But for future reference, that's something I'm going to need. So okay, that's all we need. So we're going to come back to where we're actually creating these buttons, which is going to be here. No, it's not. It's going to be here. Nope, I lied again. It is going to be here. It's going to be this button right here. And can I do a replace with? Oh, damn. Oh well. CB shop item button. Why are you bold and you're not? Alright. So we're just going to copy the attributes. There's got to be a better way to do this. I mean, I know there is. I just... Style be a circuit button. Item name. No, it's fine for now. Text is whatever. Matter of fact, we're actually going to edit this and we're going to say event pre-construct. To text, nope. To string. And if you chose byte, you're going to get the integer or the byte, like a number as a string. That's cool. I like how that worked. We're not going to worry about it. He says as he worries about it. Yeah. There we go. That seems redundant. I need to go back and double check this code and see why it's doing that, but alright, item names, that's fucking fine. No padding. I think I could just get rid of seed button. Oh. Alright. Let's click this shop item button. We're going to say on base clicked. We're just going to replace that guy right there. That should make everybody happy. Yep. Everyone cool? Everyone cool? Everyone's cool. Okay. Let's go back to this. Make sure this is still playing nice. That looks right. Make sure this is still playing nice. That looks right. Make sure this is still playing nice. That looks right. And we are... okay. All of that. We still need to be able to select that shop item. We're going to create this widget. Oh. This is what I was talking about earlier with popping. So before, when you saw me creating these widgets, I was creating these widgets. Let me get that map. I'll show you guys what we're talking about. This button still doesn't know who it is. Each button needs to know who it is. And this is how we're going to tell it. That's how we're going to tell it. Oh, whoops, I still need that. Don't get too confused. This isn't the efficient way to do things. But I've confused myself so many times now that I'm done with being efficient. I'm just going to make this happen. There we go. I mean, because really now I don't even need that item name text or price. Like I could just put all that setting inside this button code. Anyway, so before we were basically just we were doing this, right? Need to get that price. We were doing that, and that was great. But we need to be able to push this to get player control. I think I'm doing this in player controller. And because I'm doing everything in Blueprint, I have a Blueprint player controller. Push widget, yep. Alright, so this is a menu, so we're going to push it to that menu stack. And this is the problem, is that to push a widget, there, this is the comment, this is the C++ code. That's what you get. You don't get to set, because it's just the class, you don't get to set those variables, those exposed variables. So you need a function to set all these things, which is fine. So instead of doing that, we won't be creating this widget. We are going to push this widget and it is of make sure I'm selecting the right guy. Yeah, this is the one, the seed amount select. Seed, nope. Seed amount select. So like, you know, even if I refresh this, nothing happens. But it is going to return. Unfortunately, I do have to cast and say, no, really, this is the thing we're doing. So we're going to come here and we are going to set values, which is going to include everything that is exposed of item name, price per item. I think there's only two things we need. So we're going to set values on this specific thing we have selected. Great. So that's going to get pushed. Pretty sure to the center of the screen. So we should be seeing this pop up on screen. That should be fine. Now I do need to set up, I need to set focus. Whew. Alright, so we're going to say on activate. I think activated is what I want. Set focus. And again, I mean, we could just get, we could override that function again. But I'm just going to go ahead and set it as decrement. Now, at some point in the future, I'm going to make this button respond to left and right d-pad inputs. So left will always be decrement, right will always be increment. But for now, I'm just going to do this little guy right here. And we're just going to start on decrement. So let me find my gamepad, and we're going to see if sometimes Windows gets a little confused. There we go. We're going to see if this works. I haven't tested this. We're doing it live. Hello, Seed Shop. So, okay, cool. So you can't see my inputs, but you see I'm bouncing between select and exit. Common UI is not able to find these buttons here. Let's just see if it works. So it does, but exit does not. Purchase works, but exit does not. Okay, so we got a lot to round about here. I'm gonna fix that and I'll be right back. Okay, so excuse me. So I did a couple of things. One, I just kind of added some space here, so there's a little bit more verticality and just grid orientation to these buttons. Second thing I did was I realized with my get desired focus target, instead of looking for, I was looking inside the stock box for a button, but the stock box isn't filled with buttons, it's filled with these shop lists. So I created a function under shop list that just returns the button that list holds. And that's fine because we're not storing this, we're just returning it. It's not amazing, but it works. So since that's working now, let us see if let us look at numRoot. I can navigate to purchase exit. If I press decrement, nothing happens. If I press increment, things do happen. I only have, oh, hello. Let's check out decrement and see what's happening. God, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't need this, I don't need this. Let's go to graph. Where did I put decrement? Here we go. So set it to 0. If the amount to purchase is less than or equal to 0, we're going to set it to pretend. Oh, there we go. We are setting that text to 0 every time. I love it when a problem is simple. Cool. I'll do this again. Let's purchase numRoot. We're going to decrement. It's always 0. We increment. Let's buy 4 purchase. We have 4 numRoot. We only have 1 reputation, and we have an update here. So let's go ahead and buy a sleep leaf. I should edit this so that every time this is reconstructed, we change these values back to a default. And we're going to purchase for 1. Fantastic. And ship root, we're going to try to purchase 3 ship roots. See what happens. I wasn't able to purchase any ship root, but it brought me back here, which kind of sucks. I don't like that. So what I need to say is just a return of my God. I'm going to come down here to outputs. We just want a boolean. Nope, that is a byte. And we're just going to ask if I drop my controller. I'm just going to ask if it's successful. If it was here, it was. If we're here, or we'll drag this down a bit. There. Those are the conditions in which it was not successful. And let me get the controller that. Wow. The controller got some distance on it. There we go. I really should edit these, but videos, but it's fine. So we're just going to try to purchase 10 of them. We can't. Oh. Bet you already know what I did wrong. There. So if we don't succeed, then we just do nothing. Perfect. That's what we want to. We want to see that. We would also. This won't take long. We want a message to the player. Excuse me again. So let's collapse all this very confusing stuff. We got this vertical box. We're gonna have. We're just gonna do a regular border. And I'll explain why in a moment. Brush. We're gonna do black. The opacity 0.66. That's fine. I'm gonna just. Ooh, that's not what I want. It should be in this vertical box. Why? Ah, now it's in a vertical box. Okay. We'll get some common text. You know, I don't want to stretch it across the whole screen. I want it to fit the text. There we go. Actually, I want it to be it. How many do you want? That's very good English, Travis. Very, very good. That is how humans speak. All right. I'm just going to set our style. How many do you want? It's kind of weird down there, isn't it? Oh, you know what? This is. We should actually still have player reputation up here. I said this was going to take long, but this does actually bother me. Not being able to see. We're going to rep you with a horizontal box. No, we're not. We're just going to do this. We're just going to drop another common text underneath that one. I'll shove that to the right. This is going to be player rep. And that's a variable. That's a variable. We're going to do this the quick and dirty way. instead of having two text boxes, I'm just going to append a string and do one. I should have known better. This shouldn't take me but another second or two to do, so we're just going to rush through this. We're going to cast the BB player. We're going to grab this character up here. Or not casting to BB player, we're casting to the character base. And just calling that function. There we go. I'm going to add a space there. Fantastic. And I want to take this shop chatter, and we're basically going to do the exact same thing. We want to set text. Nope. Can I not? Oh, because it's a single. I could just do this. Shop chatters. I'm going to create some spreadsheets to create a chatter system in the distant future for this. So I could just load those in and let each NPC have their own little set of chatter. Boom. Perfect. There we go. And that is the very rough and dirty of our seed purchasing system. I think next time, I want to have that cleaned up next time. And I think we're going to move on to, excuse me again, this here. So I've got these monster spawners now that are laid out throughout the level, and I've created a different warrior spawner. So my objective next time is to make it so that when you hire a warrior, you can walk through and place these flags in the ground, spawning a warrior. Ooh. We'll just start there. And that's what we'll do tomorrow. And after that, we're going to create the tower defense portion of this game where the monsters will attack at night, and you'll be able to watch the monsters and the warriors fight. But there's a lot involved in that. It's getting involved in AI. It's getting involved in the Blackboard system. There's a lot there. Tomorrow, we're just going to plant flags.